I guess, first off, what do you have to say about Mr. Prentice?
Well, I think like everyone, I was shocked this morning and really devastated. I've admired him for a long time. You know, he was one of my very first meetings when I became mayor. He was the minister in charge of the Calgary region, and he made sure to come and see me and was really helpful to me in those first few days. I still remember I was at an event at Heritage Park, and I got a phone call, and it was Jim Prentice. So I went into like a utility corridor on the way to the kitchen so I could talk to him, and he said, I'm thinking of going back into politics. I'm thinking of running for leader of the PC party and becoming premier. And I think I said, why in the world would you want to do that? You've given so much already. You've got a great career. You've got a great family. And he just spoke to me very plainly and very clearly about the love that he has for this place and for this community. And every now and then in politics, I get to work with people, regardless of their political stripe, who just want to do good, who just want to do good for their community. And he was absolutely one of those people. And he did that in a way that was respectful and honest and real. And he certainly was an inspiration for me. I think he's an inspiration for everyone who aspires to public service.
And you mentioned in your statement about the multicultural community he touched.
Yeah, you know, you always know, if you know anything about Jim Prentice, you know that he had a deep and abiding love for Indigenous people and for our First Nations in this community. He stayed in that role for so long because he really, really thought that it was an area where Canada could do better, and he had a chance to do better. What a lot of people don't know is that he was just as passionate about every form of diversity. So, you know, we lost our friend Manmeet Bhullar not even a year ago. And Manmeet told me a story when Jim came back into provincial politics. And he said when Manmeet was a young man, the Sikh community wanted to build their first Gurdwara, their first temple. And it was actually very hard for them. They were facing a lot of community opposition. A lot of people didn't know much about their faith. They didn't understand what was going on. And a young lawyer took on the project. And he was idealistic, and he worked incredibly hard, speaking out for diversity and for pluralism and tolerance. And that young lawyer was named Jim Prentice. That's what inspired Manmeet to a life in public service. And it's his story, not my story. But I know that he would have wanted to tell that story if he were here today.
He wasn't premier for very long, but what kind of impact do you think he leaves behind for the province?
You know, I had the chance to work with him a lot while he was premier, and it really was a really open relationship, a relationship that really was about how can Calgary be better and how can a better Calgary lead to a better Alberta. So for example, the work that we're doing right now on the city charters was something that he really picked up and moved forward very significantly, and that'll have huge impact on all Calgarians going forward. He became premier at a tough time, and I'm not sure anyone would have been able to navigate those waters particularly great. But he certainly worked hard, and he worked hard with the best interest of this community in mind all the time.